Hello and welcome to this How to Improve video. One way to win more chess games is to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Let's try again. One way to win more chess games is to stop making the same mistakes over and over again. How can we do that? Well, if there was some way of being able to replay the game, we could spot our mistakes and remember them. Top sportsmen use video to record their games and practice, so they can watch their performances again and work out how they can improve. Fortunately, it's much cheaper to record a chess game. You don't need any expensive video recording equipment. All you need is a pencil and a piece of paper. If you write your moves down, then you can go back over your games later and learn from them. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the chess language called algebraic notation. When you've learnt this simple chess language, you can read chess books, like this one. Fortunately, we don't have this book in our house. Let's watch some moves from a chess game. You'll see how to write each move down appear in the top left of the screen. After a few moves, I'll start to explain what's going on. In algebraic notation, the chessboard is divided into ranks and files. The ranks are the horizontal rows of squares labelled 1 to 8. The white pieces start the game on ranks 1 and 2. The black pieces start the game on ranks 7 and 8. Here, the third rank is highlighted. The files are the vertical columns labelled A to H. The A file is on white's left-hand side, but from black's point of view, the A file is on the right-hand side. Here, the D file is highlighted. Each square lies on one rank and one file, and so each square has its own name. The square that is highlighted is called D3. You may have noticed that each of the main pieces has a letter: K for king, Q for queen, R for rook, B for bishop, and N for knight, because the K has already been taken by the king. But we do not use a letter for the pawns. White has moved a knight to the square C3. So we write a capital N, followed by the name of the square the knight has moved to, C3. Black has moved a bishop to the square G4. So we write a capital B, followed by the name of the square the bishop has moved to, G4. White has moved a pawn to the square D3, but pawns don't have a letter. So if a pawn moves, we just write down the name of the square it moves to, in this case, D3. Black has taken white's knight on square F3 with a bishop. If a piece is taken, we insert an X. So for this bishop move, we write a capital B, followed by an X, and then the name of the square the bishop has moved to, F3. Here white has taken black's queen on F3, with the pawn that was on G2. When a pawn takes something, we write the name of the file the pawn started from. In this case we write a small g, followed by an x, and then the name of the square the pawn has moved to, f3. Occasionally things get a little more complicated, but it's still really easy. On this move, white has moved a rook from a1 to d1. But white can also move the rook from f1 to d1. How are we going to write the move down so we know which rook has moved? It's the rook on the A file that has moved, so if we add the file name after the piece name, as shown in the top left of the screen, then it's clear which rook has moved. If you castle on the queen side of the board, by moving your king 2 squares from the E file to the C file, then you write 3 capital O's separated by dashes. Of course, when you castle, the rook moves to the other side of the king, but we don't need to write that down. If you castle on the king side of the board by moving your king 2 squares from the E file to the G file, then you write 2 capital O's separated by a dash. Again, the rook moves to the other side of the king. This is another of those tiny bit more complicated examples. On this move, white has moved a rook from f4 to f3. But white can also move the rook from f1 to f3. How are we going to write the move down so we know which rook has moved? It's the rook on the 4th rank that has moved. So if we add the rank number after the piece name, as shown in the top left of the screen, then it's clear which rook has moved. OK, there are just a few more things to learn, so let's jump forward to the end of another game. In this position, it is white to move. In fact, it's going to be checkmate in 2 moves. Let's watch what happens. White has moved the pawn from c6 to c7, so we write c7. But the pawn is attacking the black king, so we add a plus sign, because it's check. Black has to try and get out of check, and the only way is for the king to go into the corner. Can you spot checkmate for white? OK, lots to write down for this. The pawn has taken black's rook. It has promoted into a queen. And it's checkmate. So, we write down the file name the pawn has started from, that's a small c, followed by an x, because the rook was taken, followed by d8, because that's the name of the square the pawn moved to, followed by an equal sign and a capital Q, because the pawn has promoted into a queen, and finally a hash sign, because it's checkmate. And that's everything you need to know about algebraic notation. So why not go away and write down some of your games?